Hey everybody, Dr. Brenda here, New Beginnings Chiropractic, and I just wanted to jump on quick. And if you caught my message or my video last week, I've been sharing that I wanted to do more stories of magic and miracles that we've been seeing here in the office and try to bring some positivity and some inspiration to the world right now, and really just share some of the awesome things that we see here happening all the time that are beyond just, low back pain for adults and all that good stuff. So I wanted to share a story really quick about one of my favorite things that happened in 2020 here at the office. As you know, I am pretty much obsessed with and passionate about all things prenatal, perinatal, pregnancy, birth, women's health, preconception, getting pregnant, postpartum, breastfeeding babies, pediatrics and all that kind of stuff. And have been Webster certified for a long time, since 2006, and also certified, from the ICPA in the pediatric certification, took doula training, just anything that I can, spinning babies, anything that I can do that's in that birth realm is like my passion, my bread and butter. And I have a really good connection with a lot of local home birth and natural birth and just birthing in general, the birthing community, midwives, doulas, OBs, family docs, lactation consultants. And so in the midst of 2020, when all the chaos was happening, especially earlier in the year when no one really knew, the extent of things, and everybody was trying to keep people out of hospitals and clinics, we were obviously blessed to be able to be considered essential and, remain open and continue seeing our patients. And I had a patient who, she had slipped and fallen in January. She was pregnant, and we were trying to get her in. It was right around the time that my dad died, so our schedules weren't meshing up because I had to take some time off. And so it just didn't work for her to get in at that time. And I figured, she probably just, was kind of sore and just wanted to get checked out or whatever. And then, the chaos of March and everything happened. And then so she reached out, I think late March, early April, and she was closer to her due date now. And she was planning on having a home birth. So she was not planning on being in a hospital, having a C-section, anything like that. Obviously, when you're having a home birth, you have a home birth midwife, there's no drugs, there's no interventions, it's just at home. Well, her midwife told her baby was transverse breech. And if you don't know what that means, it means the baby was laying sideways. So not just, normal baby's head down. Regular breech is when their head is up, their feet are down. There are some midwives that will deliver babies in that position. But when they're transverse breech, they're lying on the side. So there is no way that the baby's going to come out except for a C-section. Obviously, she did not want to have that or a hospital birth. She was planning on having a home birth, but clearly in the midst of this COVID, craziness, she also was not really wanting to go into the hospital to deliver and have her, her newborn baby there. And also all of this stuff around the testing and things were so new early on as well. Like if a mom tests positive, do her and the baby have to be separated? And, can the baby breastfeed and all of these things? And can the dad come in if there's a positive test? So all of these additional stressors that would come into play were all in the mix and everything. And so I think she was around 37, 38 weeks when she called me, and she's like, my midwife said, get in and see Brenda right away. And so she made an appointment. And again, chiropractic is never a guarantee that a breech baby is going to turn head down, or to in a different position. But we're always assessing the pelvis structures and the sacrum, the lumbar, the hips, everything that's happening. We're assessing the ligaments and the muscles and the tension, and trying to optimize where things are supposed to be so that it can if there is some extra tension that's torquing the uterus or something like that, it can relax, and then baby can kind of decide if it's gonna, if it has the ability to get into a proper head down position. So it's never a cure, it's never a guarantee. And I'm not practicing obstetrics by adjusting a pregnant woman, but if anything is going to allow the mom's body and the baby's body to do what they're supposed to do, it's removing nervous system interference and reducing that tension around the whole pelvis and sacrum. So I'm like, all right, come on, let's see what we can do. 2 adjustments and baby had turned head down. And she continued to get adjusted until the end, just to kind of make sure everything was in a good spot. But 2 adjustments. So basically we think what happened was that when she slipped in January, that she really torqued something in her pelvis and her sacrum and caused a lot of tension and misalignment. And that probably, because of the attachments of the ligaments from the uterus to the different bones in the pelvis and the sacrum, had torqued something, and there was just too much tension and baby couldn't get into a great position. 2 adjustments was all it took for her body to release and relax, unwind, let the nervous system figure it all out, let baby have the space to do what it needed to do. She was able to have a beautiful home birth, and nobody had to go to the hospital. Nobody had to be separated or isolated from their newborn. She was able to do skin to skin. I mean, think about the immense change in the microbiome if the baby had to have been delivered, number 1, in a hospital, but number 2, by C-section, and number 3, be physically separated from the mother for a period of time. Baby's first exposure to any and all microorganisms would have been what the hospital was surrounded with versus at home in its natural environment. It would not have had the benefit of exiting the vaginal canal and having that initial seeding take place with the proper flora. And if you don't have skin to skin and you don't have breastfeeding in that critical, 1 hour to 24 hours, it really just critically changes the flora that are first introduced into the gut and become part of the microbiome of the child. So 3 things would have worked against them for having to have a C-section in the hospital. And especially during this era of COVID, where, like I said, there was always this uncertainty with who was going to be separated, and if there was a test, or if they hadn't tested, or the results weren't back or something in this separation, and would baby have gotten formula then instead of breast milk? If baby couldn't be skin to skin with mom or dad, all of those things make such a huge difference. So this wasn't even just about avoiding a major abdominal surgery, which is huge. This wasn't even just about allowing mom to have this, peaceful, serene, beautiful home birth that she dreamt of. It was literally going to be changing the microbiome structure of this child for the rest of their life. So that's the type of stuff that I do not take lightly. And again, I am not here to say whether anybody should ever have a C-section or a hospital birth or a home birth, but if you have certain things that you want to do for your child, starting them off with the healthiest and most optimal microbiome, in addition to the least interfered with birth, is going to be critical for that child's development. And their home birth story was beautiful. It was great. She sent a story. She emailed all the people that were kind of involved and everything, and it was amazing. And I just was so happy for them. But I was also happy that home birth midwife, in a time when people are like, stay home, stay home, stay home, stay home, don't go to any appointments unless it's an absolute emergency, she understood the gravity of the situation. She understood, if anybody can help you, it's a Webster certified chiropractor. If there's a chance for this baby to turn, it's because your body needs to be unsubluxated. It needs to be aligned. It needs to be, just doing what it's supposed to be doing. So I'm so thankful for that midwife, for reminding her, hey, let's do what we can to hopefully avoid this other situation. So that is one of the biggest miracles, one of my favorite stories of 2020. And again, just an example of the things that we see in our office every single day or every week. And I don't ever want to take those for granted. I know I need to get on here and share more of these things now too, because hopefully there's other moms out there. I mean, I'm hoping they're not in similar situations with their baby's transverse breech, but you know what I mean? Like just understanding the importance of like, wow, like my body can do this. My baby's body and my body communicate with each other. And it's essential to have open communication between their nervous systems and their, physiology and anatomy. I will always 100% support normal physiology, normal anatomy, normal biochemistry, first and foremost. See where you can go with that. And then if you need other interventions after you have done everything you can to normalize structure and physiology, that's a little bit different. But so hope you enjoyed this, and looking forward to some more Miracle Mondays with you. I'm forgetting the name of it already.